News this morning, petrol cost doubles as President Tinubu clarifies his statement on fuel subsidy. Police deploy units following another fatal court clash in Emoha, Rivers State. Former Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, gets new chieftaincy title. Governor Fubara appoints head of service. Tribunal admits as evidence U.S. court judgment reportedly indicting President Tinubu. On the foreign scene, North Korea's spy satellite launch crashes into sea. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifeemi Andrew. Some filling stations in Port Harcourt reopened last night after staying closed all day despite the build-up of vehicles at their entrance. They sold petrol to stranded motorists who had queued for hours for between 350 naira and 500 naira per litre. Some motorists worst hit by the petrol situation spoke to correspondent Soebi Oruwari.
Put on their power system, then increase the price to 305. After about 2 to 5 minutes, they put up their system again, then put it on and change it to 310 naira per litre. That was this morning. Oluwabasanjo, they sold for 400 per litre.
They are selling 600 to 700 in some of the filling stations in town. Subsidy will be removed. It shouldn't be removed immediately. They should take measures.
Their own will be a little bit better than others. So that is why I'm here. But since I came, the line has not even moved. So we are just believing that line will move. It's really pathetic.
I'm not seeing any situation that is selling today, apart from the black market.
On his part, rights activist Charles Jaja called on the new Rivers State governor to urgently set up measures to monitor and clamp down on filling stations who, he said, are inflicting sufferings on the citizens.
And I want to appeal to Governor Siminalayi Fubara to ensure that in his state he mete out the kind of treatment that Governor of Edo State is meting out to the people. If they fail to dispense the product when they have it in place, send your people to go there, dispense the product to the public free of charge. And if you find out that they are dispensing above official pump rate, all what you need to do is shut down that filling station, revoke their property and ensure that they don't exist again. Then they will know that government is not here to play with them because they can't continue to take the people for a ride.
Mr. Jaja said the oil marketers do not have the justification to increase petrol pump price without consultations.
There are no justifiable reasons why the prices of PMS should skyrocket simply because Mr. President did say that the government was going to remove a subsidy. Now, you see, these marketers and owners of filling stations, the level of greed in them is just something else. And I wish that the government would stand up and fight these people because they have no right. The product which they are claiming they are selling at the 500, 600 naira now with the same product that we collected, subsidized product, is all stock. And yet they are going ahead to do this kind of thing. Nigerians must resist them.
In the same vein, the chairman of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, in Rivers State, Foster Onyefuru, frowned at the sudden hike in petrol price hours after President Tinubu's comment on removal of petrol subsidy. He, however, appealed to regulators to ensure that marketers sell at approved pump price.
Just last week, when the Dangote refinery inauguration was done, in Port Harcourt, petroleum products increased from about 230 naira to close to 280 naira. Why? Because they were scared that they will have more than surplus, so the smart thing to do is to quickly hike the price and then sell off what you have. That is man's inhumanity against man. We appeal very strongly to regulators whose duty it is to ensure that these marketers comply by selling approved pump price for petroleum products.
Mr. Onyefuru also said there are ongoing discussions around petrol subsidy and the process ought not to be truncated.
We are saying that government, regulators, and the organized labor are already on the table discussing and engaging around the fuel subsidy removal. That process should not be truncated. We have suffered a lot. We don't want more suffering to come around Nigerians. And we as a labor center will do what we are supposed to do to ensure that the interests of our members as rights and interests of Nigerians is protected in this matter.
Meanwhile, the zonal chairman of Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Penga St. George Nwoko, has explained the sudden increase in pump price of petrol. Mr. Nwoko said marketers may be trying to get back the money spent on importing petrol into the country since the federal government is yet to pay a backlog of subsidy payments.
The marketers know that in the next couple of weeks, if the subsidy is removed officially, they will have to be on their own. And we are aware that there are backlogs of payments of subsidy to be made to the marketers. So they will react the way they are reacting in order to recover from some of the outstandings. So it's not being hyped. It's about the current rate of bringing product into the country. So at every liter of fuel you purchase, government spends about 300 naira on it. So when you remove that, you are going to pay the balance. But that is not to the detriment of the masses. We expect them to look at the books and then come to an agreement in a way that the masses don't get it wrong.
Mr. Nwoko says discussions between the federal government and labor leaders are ongoing.
In the last administration, there was no landing. That was why they couldn't pronounce the removal completely. So we still have 1 month window to fine-tune some of the processes. You are aware the Dangote refinery was commissioned some weeks ago. So those are part of the issues we are already discussing. If they come upstream and we have another national refinery working, we'll be able to at least produce what we consume, then we can remove subsidy. So it is an ongoing discussion which we expect the government to actually continue before making any pronouncement.
In the meantime, the Nigeria Labour Congress in Rivers State says the announcement by President Bola Tinubu that petrol subsidy is gone was ill-timed. State NLC Chairman Alex Agwanwo told correspondent Martha Okere that the NLC was not consulted before the announcement was made.
What has changed from 2012 and now concerning subsidy? Have we started producing in Nigeria? We agreed on the regulation on kerosene and diesel. It was because there are other options. The general use is not like a PMS, and people are not too bothered. But PMS is something that everybody in this, almost everything in this country, even the price of goods are wrong with PMS. This morning, if you are supposed to take a transport for 200 naira to a particular point, it is times 2, 500 naira. The transporters have increased their price also. And you know the multi effect of this. It will affect even goods in the market. So we are not prepared for it, honestly.
Mr. Agwanwo said petrol subsidy removal should be based on local availability of the product.
Any subsidy removal that will occasion by importation of petroleum products is not favorable to Nigerians. That subsidy removal should be based on local production of the products. Yes, Dangote refinery have been inaugurated, but it has not started running. Even though it starts running tomorrow, what is going to be the impact? Is it going to serve Nigerians to an extent that will say subsidy removal will not have any negative impact on the citizens in terms of the inflation of price of goods and services?
He, however, warned against panic buying and hoarding of petroleum products.
Everybody should be relaxed because if doing panic buying will also begin to allow the marketers to begin to take advantage of the citizens in terms of increasing their prices. Since NMBC have assured us that the products are everywhere, so panic buying will create artificial scarcity. People begin to hoard the products. So let Nigerians be relaxed and let's watch as events unfold. But honestly, I want to assure them that Nigerian Labour Congress will not skip over this.
Still on this, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has told Nigerians not to panic. A statement by its General Manager Corporate Communications, Kimchi Apollo, said there is ample supply of petrol to meet Nigeria's demands. It said the authority has taken necessary steps to ensure distribution channels remain uninterrupted and petrol is readily available at all filling stations across the country. Yesterday, President Bola Tinubu clarified his comments on removal of petrol subsidy, which had sparked the petrol situation in the country. A statement by the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Media Center said the president was only informing the public of the existing situation, as the petrol subsidy budget of the previous administration was only meant to cover the first half of the year, meaning that by July there will be no subsidy. Moving on, police say they have deployed tactical units to Indele community in Emo Haleko government area of Rivers State following the fatal court clash on Monday night. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringekoko, tells our correspondent that it was a clash between two rival court groups. She said the clash left 4 people dead in the community. Earlier, an eyewitness narrated how the armed men came into the community with a Sienna bus and a motorcycle. The eyewitness told our correspondent that the attackers notified members of the disbanded local security outfit OSPAC of the attack. He named those killed during the attack as Endurance Mekini, a member of the Emoha Local Vigilante Security Services, Emovis, and 2 brothers, Onyema Kekwaro and Ejike Kekwaro, who he said were members of the disbanded OSPAC. The witness said 2 of the victims were beheaded and their heads taken to the market square. He said there has not been any security presence in the community since the incident happened. Recall that in April, a court clash in Elibrada community in Emo Haleko government area left 2 people dead. Away from that, former Rivers State Commissioner for Information Ibim Seminitari says she is hopeful that the Fubara administration will consolidate on the achievement of its predecessor. Mrs. Seminitari said this while describing the inauguration of the governor as historic. She said it is the first time Rivers State witnessed a smooth transition since 1999.
I expect that he's going to build on the good work of his predecessor. His predecessor has focused on a lot of infrastructural development across the state. I expect him to build on that and also to improve human capacity development. I am sure that being a financial manager, one of the things we're going to see is prudent financial management. So we're going to see a bit of that. I think he's going to focus a lot on the economy, again coming from where he comes from.
Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says he will continue to seek guidance from his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, to enable him perform excellently in office. Governor Fubara spoke at the grand reception organized for the former governor at Captain Elmadi Polytechnic in Rumola community yesterday. The governor said the enormous responsibility associated with governance and the success recorded by the former governor, which he has inherited, serve as great motivation for his administration. The governor said he is an unapologetic benefactor of the former governor who is determined to continue to study the administrative prowess, political calculations, decision and exploits in order not to disappoint Rivers people. On his part, the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who was conferred the title of Okurume I of Obiakbo, thanked the people for supporting him during his political journey.
But it's unfortunate when people show their character, who they are. It is politics that tells you who is who. When you're not in politics, nobody can say who you are. Some of our leaders in Port Harcourt, some of our leaders in the local government abandoned us when I needed all of you that time. When I sold that out for a pot of porridge, of course, it has shown who they are.
The governor said he does not regret the decisions he took during the last election.
I can tell you, I will not regret the decision we took in the last general election. We have no regrets at all. If the opportunity presents itself, we'll do the same thing. So continue to be united. But the General Baba said, people may not understand what he said. What he's saying, that he's saying that not that you can be, but it likely be difficult. So whatever you are doing, hold us. But once you hold our local government, then you are likely sure that you'll be there.
Still ahead, Tribunal admits as evidence U.S. court judgment reportedly indicting President Tinubu. Stay tuned. For Commissioner Designates, the River State Governor Sim Fubara has appointed George Nwaike as the head of the River State Civil Service. Dr. Nwaike was the former Permanent Secretary, Special Services Bureau, Office of the Secretary to the River State Government. Yesterday, the River State House of Assembly screened and confirmed 4 commissioner nominees. The screening exercise followed a letter from Governor Siminalayi Fubara asking the lawmakers to screen them to be part of the cabinet. The Speaker of the House of Assembly, Kunyi Ibani Owaji, who read the letter from Governor Fubara, remarked that the commissioner designates performed creditably well in the immediate past administration. Mr. Ibani Owaji later directed the clerk of the House to communicate the decision of the lawmakers to the governor after those present during plenary okayed their nomination. We go on another short commercial now. The news continues afterwards. In exercise followed a letter from Governor Siminalayi Fubara asking lawmakers to screen them to be part of the cabinet. The Speaker of the House of Assembly, who read the letter from the governor, remarked that the commissioner designates performed creditably well in the immediate past administration. The Speaker later directed the clerk of the House to communicate the decision of the lawmakers to the governor after those present during plenary okayed their nomination. In the meantime, one of the commissioner nominees, Chinedu Umom, spoke to newsmen after the screening.
Well, one of the things I've targeted is I'm going to do what we call digitization of data and information. So just a click away, you get every information about any school, wherever it's located, number of students, the classes where they are, the ages of the students. It's a major target, and if I'm able to achieve that, I think it's a great feat. We want to make sure that every data and every information about our school, students, staff, everything will be digitized. In other words, we'll have them at your finger, just a strike of a button, even in your phone, in your various homes, and get every information. So people will have access to information.
Correspondent Shebiruwai reports that the commissioner nominees are former Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General Professor Zacchaeus Adango, former Commissioner for Works Dr. Dakurinama George Kelly, former Commissioner for Finance Isaac Kamalu, and former Commissioner for Education Professor Chinedu Umom. The Presidential Election Petition Court has admitted in evidence a United States of America District Court judgment that reportedly indicted President Bola Tinubu and ordered his forfeiture of $460,000 in drug-related offences. The certified true copy of the judgment was tendered by a witness, Barrister Lawrence Onwakaiti, at the commencement of hearing of a petition filed by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against the election of Tinubu.
We'll bring you news from around the world.
North Korea says an accident happened as it planned to send up its first space satellite, causing it to crash into the sea. Pyongyang announced earlier it planned to launch a satellite by 11th June to monitor U.S. military activities. It now says it will attempt a second launch as soon as possible. Still with the news, a middle-aged woman, Comfort Chinedu, says the senior pastor of Abundant Life Evangel Mission, Apostle Eugene Ogu, is conniving with their compound chief, Innocent Wonsu, to claim lands her father bought before his death in the Umwakuru community of Igbo clan in a Chieleko government area. Comfort Chinedu also accused Apostle Ogu and Mr. Wonsu of not respecting a court judgment in her family's favor.
The lands that my father bought before he died in Omakoro, Igbo Eche, Innocent Nwosu Chief and the Apostle Eugene Ogu is taking those properties away from me and my brothers and sisters. Took them to court. Court have given us our judgment. Eugene Ogu went again with Chief Innocent and wrote petition that we sold land to him, forging my family signature. Police look into it and see that it was forged. That we are about taking Eugene Ogu and Chief Innocent to court. At that point, they escaped from the police.
She called on relevant authorities to come to her aid as her life and that of her family members are at risk due to constant attempts by sponsored kidnappers to abduct them.
What I am looking for is that government, police, all the powers should come and rescue us from Eugene Ogu and the Chief Innocent. They are threatening us from one corner to the other, bringing unknown people to come and pick us away from our community. We are not living in our house again, running from one corner to the other. Everybody should come and help us for them to leave my father's property alone. We don't have anybody.
When contacted, Mr. Wonsu declined to comment, saying the case is in court. Apostle Eugene Ogu has not yet replied to messages sent by a correspondent on the matter. On the news this morning, you heard that petrol cost has doubled as President Tinubu clarified his statement on petrol subsidy. The police say they've deployed units following another court clash in Emoha, Rivers State, which left 4 people dead. Former Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, gets new chieftaincy title. Governor Fubara has appointed a head of service. Tribunal has admitted as evidence U.S. court judgment reportedly indicting President Tinubu. And on the foreign scene, North Korea's spy satellite launch has crashed into the sea. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Ifeemi Andrew is my name. Good morning.